we have come together and gained some insights and clarification on this matter. The issue here is that, as what our esteemed speakers have already said, we were in the midst of drafting the TOR, and we were exchanging because we were refining, and we sent one, and then we got back. Many hours were spent in doing the terms of reference. Many hours. It was not simple because there were two challenges. One, to retain the intention of the Global Council to form the Global Council in the first instance. That means to say, we wanted to retain the purpose of that, which is supposedly to bring everyone together. At the same time, we wanted to make sure that the structure is not dismantled from Swami's formed structure. So there was a lot of effort towards this. But as we kept doing so, the communication broke down because when Brother Ratnaka's letter came, it was quite clear that the document that we were sending out were not emphasizing on the appointments. I think that is where the clear point was. So it was very obvious that the area of concern was in the area of the appointments, and that was what that was focused back. The actual document that we sent, terms of we actually thought that could be very much accepted because it was very inclusive. Everybody was there. I don't know whether how many of them would have actually seen both the terms of references, theirs and ours. And if you put it side by side, you can see that in our terms of reference, we had it as a coordinating, collaborating body. Because you see, everything was already functioning very well. We just wanted a body so that everybody, representatives from all three bodies, would be able to share, leverage strengths, share resources, share insights. That would have been the most amazing, perfect organization for us to advance ourselves. There's no necessity for us to reinvent the wheel and create another whole wheel together. So that was what this new terms of reference that we were proposing. But then the communication broke down because of the simple reason that this area of contention was not agreeable. But we were still refining that. But that's when the letter came, then we were not able to proceed.
So what really broke the conversation down was the insistence that the Central Trust had that they would have to control the appointments. That was really what broke the camel's back, it seems.
That was it.
Brother Suresh is absolutely correct. But in addition to that, they were restructuring all the committees, subcommittees of the SSSIO. As we know, the way Swami organized it is that there are different zones, and within the zones, there are different levels of appointment, and there are committees and subcommittees. The whole structure was being reorganized under the direction of the Central Trust, not as equals. What Brother Venkat had mentioned was very correct, accurate. Unity is among equals. Samatva, the word sama in the Vedas and in the Upanishads is most important. Samadhi means samadhi. Sama is equal, dhi is mindedness, equal mindedness. We treat everybody as equal. On that basis, we were structuring this TOR, this terms of reference, but the change was one in appointments and the other one is in the organization itself. There were different levels.
I think that the first part that is everybody should understand that the Central Trust is not the apex body, or is not more important than the Organization of India or the international organization. Swami never put them over us. If he had wanted to put them over us, he would have said that, and we would have obeyed Swami implicitly and immediately. But on the contrary, he stated that the three bodies were independent. Second, why unity cannot be a change? Because the Central Trust wants power and control. Three things they wanted: to appoint the key officers, starting by the international chair, to rule over the committees should report to them, and third, they wanted to appoint any person in any position at any time, whoever they liked. So that means that if they don't like the face of a National Council president, they would change it for another person. Many devotees say, but in the terms of reference, the executive committee will appoint them where we are majority. This is not true. Don't fall into that trap. Because first of all, they want the right, the Central Trust, not the executive committee, to appoint the chairman of the international organization. And second, they have their signature. So the executive committee could recommend, but the signature is there, so they keep control. It is not that we will appoint the executive committee. The executive committee can only make recommendations, and they will have the power and the last decision to sign on our recommendation or not. So they want to keep the control when Swami didn't give them any power to do that. And they wanted to change the structure that Swami gave us, as they are doing now, replicating the international organization. When they speak about unity, instead of staying in the conversation with us, they just closed the door and started to call in every country, every center, and convincing them to move with them. And they are celebrating each center that moves with them. Is it right to celebrate the dismantling of the international organization? Is it what a Sai brother should do? To be happy with the pain of others, to dismantle what Swami has created?